What's up, Capoeira Nation? Welcome back once again to the Capoeira Experience podcast. Thank you so much for every single of you for spending some time here with us, here with myself and every single of our guests. And thank you so much for sharing this podcast with every single of your friends. So today, uh, we're getting close to finish the film series. So in today's episode, I got the pleasure of interviewing one more female capoeirista. She started capoeira in 2002, but it wasn't until 2007 when she really stick to capoeira until today. She started in Puerto Rico with Anaue Capoeira. Now she's part of Karkara Capoeira in Florida. So let me introduce you to Monitora Vermelinha. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing really good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about this.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. We talk through Instagram. I really wanted to have you here because I see your commitment with capoeira, and I think that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a back and forth. I'm glad we got to do it before the series was over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a very nice series that I really like it. But
Yeah.
after that, I got some surprises. I don't want to say. Yeah, spoiler alert. I don't want to say. But there's more series coming up this year.
Nice.
Perfect. So as every single of my guests, I want our listeners to follow you on Instagram or see or any social media to see
Mhm.
who you are, see your face and all that if they're listening. So what are your social media so they can find you or
Uh,
follow?
so yeah, on Instagram, my name is Monitora and then underscore Vermelinha.
Nice,
And then on Facebook, it's my real name, which is Bianca Puig. And my
nice, nice,
last name is Puig.
nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. And do you care if you share the website of the group?
Yeah, the website is capokusa.com. It's
Oh,
in
cool.
Florida and Boynton Beach.
Oh, that's awesome. It's really easy to remember. That's awesome.
Yeah, Capo K.
Yes. So anyone, I don't think there's a soul that goes to Florida. So if anyone is going there, make sure you hit them up and go train. We do some capoeira with them.
It's awesome. I'm here
Yes.
in a cool spot.
Nice. I can tell that it's really, really nice. It's really nice. I've seen videos and it's like, man, this place is legit. It's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice, and the people are really cool. Like, there's a lot of good capoeira. The Mestre Vecino, he's like super committed to like building good capoeira and making sure that the history and the martial art is like respected here. So I love it. It's home.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's really cool when you find a place where of capoeira you can say this. I feel like this is my home, like
It's
you
super
said.
important. Super important.
Yeah, it's really cool. So like for everybody to know who you are and all that, tell us a little bit your story of capoeira, how you started until now. You can start however you want.
Okay. So yeah, like you mentioned, I started the first time in 2002. I was 10 years old, so I was a kid. And how it happened, I used to live in Puerto Rico, right across the street from this park that they did a hoda every Friday.
So
And
cool.
yeah, like from my balcony, I used to be like, what are they doing? And
Mhm.
like I was like, that's so interesting. And then I asked my mom to take me to the park, and then I went, and it was just like so mesmerizing. The drums, I mean, we all know. It's just
Yeah.
like just catch my attention and called me. I was like, oh my God, I need to do this. So then I just started going every Friday. That was like how I started. And then little by little, my mom started taking me to the classes. And yeah, so that was the first time in Puerto Rico. They were a group called Anaue Capoeira. And then I was young. I couldn't drive myself, and my mom couldn't take me anymore, so I kind of stopped. But like,
Uh,
I remember I had a CD, like a capoeira CD, and I used to like
yeah.
have my mom play it in the car, even if I was in training. And then
That's
like
so
years
cool.
later, yeah, it was like it's always been like in me. So years later, I went back to it when I was like a teenager, and yeah, since then I trained in Puerto Rico for a year and a half, and then we ended up moving like with my mom to Miami in Florida. And
Okay.
then there was Anaue Capoeira in Florida, so I trained over there. And then that teacher ended up moving, and there wasn't anywhere Anaue. And then I started training with Cavallo and Venus, Mestrando Cavallo and Professora Venus. They're awesome. Professor Venus, if you're still doing, you should check her out. She's like, oh, I love her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I trained with them for a little bit, and then they changed groups, and it's just this whole um, like politics about capoeira and the groups and changing groups, and like that's I know that's a topic that a lot of people are aware of. Um,
Yeah.
so I got caught like as a beginner, I didn't know like what was I supposed to be doing. Like, do I wanted to stay loyal to my group in Puerto Rico, but then eventually even the group in Puerto Rico wasn't even Anaue anymore. It's just like this
Uh,
whole so yeah, so then I kept training though. Like no matter where I was at, I found a place to train. And the community in Florida is like very united for the most part of capoeira, and kept training, and that's it. And now I'm here. And then I ended up moving up north. So Miami's south, like an hour and 40 minutes from here.
okay.
So I ended up moving up here. And found Capoeira Karkara about almost 2 years, I believe. Yeah. And then, yeah, I started training here, found a home. Like, and that was a whole process in it on itself because the whole like changing groups. I had stopped training capoeira because I didn't necessarily like feel as comfortable in the group that I was at last.
Yeah.
And it was like even if like the same thing when I was younger, like the CD and all of that. Like I used to play capoeira in the car, and because I wasn't training that much with the group, like I would cry. I would be like, I would
Uh,
just hear the beating bow, and I'm like, oh my god, like I miss it so much. I want to train. But I don't know what kind of listeners you have, but if there's anybody out there that is struggling with groups and all that, like all that matters is capoeira. And at
yes, for
the end of
sure.
the day, like I had a whole like a whole like internal battle of like what other people are gonna think of me if I change groups and like all of this. So that that like made my process of going back to capoeira like even longer. So much
Yes.
like it took a whole year for me to get back into capoeira just because I
Okay.
didn't change groups and like
Okay.
I didn't want to like stir the pot and all of that. But I dropped all of that and I just like what's important for me is like I need to train.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But so then I found them, and it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was on that transition too because I started in a group called Raíces do Brasil back in Venezuela, and then a friend of mine brought Capoeira Brazil to Venezuela, and then he was like, "Hey, come train with us. Like this is fun. Let's go train. We're gonna be training almost every single day." And I was like, "Man, well, but you know, all my friends back there." And then at some point, I was like that too. I was like, you know, like I'm doing capoeira because I like it. If they are my friends, they're not gonna judge me. They're gonna be like, they're gonna push me like, go train. You know, it doesn't matter the group or whatever. What are gonna support
Exactly.
you.
Yeah.
And
At the end of the day, it's like it's your life, and that was like I mean it was a huge personal growth for me to be able to like let go of caring what other people will think because at the end of the day like those people that might judge me they're not living like my life day in and day out that when I'm in the
exactly.
car and I hear the beating bar I cry like they don't know that they're still living their lives and if they judge then they judge but like
Yeah.
I'm glad that I took that step and let all of that go because I found a place that like I feel at home like right now so as the story like unfolds right now is like dream job like I don't have another job all I do is capoeira I work
That's
here
so cool.
yeah like the my income everything is made of capoeira and I feel like I'm so blessed and so like in awe with myself that I decided to like let go of like what anybody else thought and just walked in here and be like, hey, I just want to train, and I respect like all the other groups and people I have trained with, but I just didn't feel comfortable, and that's okay. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's not like disrespectful or anything like that. Like we all have our place, and I'm
yeah, exactly.
glad I did that
Is
because
you where you click, where that thing clicks, and is like where you feel comfortable. That's where you have to follow.
yeah,
Is I don't think it's about logo or group or style. It's like wherever you feel comfortable, or wherever you feel home, like you said.
yeah, and it's a huge conversation too, because like if we think about where capoeira came from, it's like all about freedom
Yes. Yeah.
and then so we like start as human beings I think it's not just capoeira it's like everything in the world we just try to put people in like boxes and create all these rules around like what's good what's bad but that's all like man-made at the end of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
day if we honor what the art is about it's about freedom and
Cool. That's right.
self-expression so
Yeah. I love to say this because I truly believe on this that capoeira was made to bring people together.
yeah
Because like you see all these like coming from all around the Africa. They came to one place and they create this. And
Yeah.
then without language, different languages, probably enemies, different enemies, and they're like, oh, like now our enemy is the Kapatais, and now we gotta train for this.
Yeah. We gotta like capoeira is like the one thing that they had in common and kind of like helped them survive through all of that. So yeah, just like when you put a group of people, no matter like where it is, whether it's capoeira, whether it is whatever organization, everybody brings like their baggage, like however they,
Yes.
whatever beliefs they create about themselves and about the world and how the world should work and how they should interact with each other. Like it's just like all these things, and I think we have a good opportunity. Like if we're having these conversations, it's already like such a huge step towards like uniting the people that are wanting to make a difference
Oh
in our
yeah, for sure.
community, in capoeira and all of that. So I mean, we can spend time like being like, oh, like I hate the people that are ego and blah blah. But in a way, if we do that, we're doing the same thing as them.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And just
to like the drama and all that, so just accept
yeah,
no matter where there's gonna be ego people, and we just can bring the connection and the purpose of capoeira, which is to like really
yeah, yeah,
express ourselves and train hard.
yeah, yeah. I agree. And is or it's like everything in life, or you part of the problem or you're part of the solution, and
Yeah.
it's just like it's better be part of the solution and have fun, and I rather to spend my energy and part of my thoughts and my energy and my capoeira towards like someone I can be friend with, than instead of like using the energy negativity and be like like it
Yeah.
just that doesn't match me.
Yeah, it's
it,
not worth
it,
it.
it's just more fun when you like smiling. And I mean it's like a hoda. I just see it like a hoda. It's like it's a hoda is more fun when everybody's jumping, when everybody's like going crazy, and that energy, instead of being like that hoda when no one's clapping and no one is singing. It's just same thing.
There's so many metaphors. I feel like the more I'm like in capoeira, it's like just the hoda itself could be. You can find a metaphor for everything in life. It's so.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that's why I love this, because is so many ways where you can be like, oh, this remind me to the hoda, and then oh man, like it's I don't know. I just love capoeira in all the aspects.
Same. Yeah.
Yes, and okay, now before we start touching the, because I wanna give some inspirations to the female capoeiristas out there to try to work like I mentioned off camera, try to work and step up towards creating an income from capoeira. Of course, that takes work and all that. But before we go into that, why Vermelinha? Why Vermelinha? Why they call you Vermelinha?
Uh, so, so vermelhinha is, of course, vermelho is the color red. So vermelho
Okay.
is like little red in a way. Well, I don't know. When I train, my face gets super red. So that's the story. That's literally it.
Oh, okay.
It's like because I'm like pale. So when I train, it's literally just my face, like over here. Well, the people are listening can't see
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but it's
Right.
just my face gets like bright red. So I mean, it's not like an amazing name, but I much rather this name than like tomachina or like something with tomato. Not to, oh my god, no.
That's funny.
Whoever has the name, own it, and it's your name. But I was like really concerned. I'm like, oh, they're probably gonna give me a name like tomato or something like that. So
Or
vermin.
like or repeat it like or some they could be morango, and there's many morangos.
There's a lot of morangos. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
yeah. Which is not bad, but I'm just saying it's just like
yeah. No,
and
no names are bad. I mean, own it.
exactly, exactly, exactly. But it's cool when you have you like, oh man, there's no Vermelinha. I don't know any Vermelinha. I
But
think that's cool.
here with the kids, like we have. It's a really challenging name for kids to say.
Oh
Even
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
it's long, it's
Vermelinha.
Portuguese. It has like the inya and the verme. So
Yeah.
like it's complicated. They're just
Is
like, I'm like, I know you're calling
sure, yeah. Yes, yeah, that one.
me. I'm like, I'm coming.
Yeah, it's the same like so I put in my nickname the nickname to my wife, and her nickname is Canarinha, like
Hmm.
canary.
Yeah.
Every time like the kids in my class like, what is your nickname? They ask her, what is your nickname? And she's like Canarinha. And they Caracaxinha. somewhere around there. You just keep
Yeah,
practicing.
but it's
It's
just
like
to learn.
tongue
I mean,
twisting.
it's part
Yeah,
of the art, learning a new language and all that. So they'll
yeah,
get
yeah,
used to it
exactly.
little by little.
It's like dragging the R for capoeira. Some people can't even say capoeira, but
And
I mean, just practice.
yeah, in Puerto Rico, everybody says capoeira, capoeira. I'm like,
In Venezuela, they say like campuera or like they change the whole name. It's just like
yeah,
you just read it. It's not hard.
it's really not that hard. Even
And
reading Spanish is like capoeira.
yeah, exactly. And what attracted you from capoeira when you were or yeah when you were little kid or when you
Yeah,
came back to capoeira? What was the attractive part of capoeira for you?
that's such a good question. And something that I don't really think about that much because it's like my daily thing. You don't
Yeah,
think about like what was it. So yeah, I think the music for me it was like the music was like, oh wow, this is so cool. Like they're playing drums, they're like all together singing this like cool songs. I mean everything really. I was like, I fell in love with it. Like the
yeah, like whoa,
movement,
what is this?
community, like yeah, there weren't a, I was like the only kid. My first couple classes, I was the only kid. Everybody, I was in adult class.
Oh,
So there
crazy.
weren't a lot of kids, but I loved like everybody was so nice. I used to be a very like shy kid, um, and that's like one of the big things that capoeira has helped me with is like being confident. And I used
Same.
to be super shy. Like I couldn't even order my own food at a restaurant without me like wanting to die. It was bad.
Yeah, same. No, same.
Yeah, I was really, really shy. So I mean, all of it for me, everything was like, wow, this is really interesting and different. And like in Puerto Rico, it wasn't very common. So I remember like going to school and like making my friends sing the chorus of like Dona Maria because I was learning it. I'm like, Dona Maria, como va? And they're like, Bianca, do we really have to do this? I'm like, yes, let's go.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Everybody making fun of me, right? Because it's like a different thing. And now it's kind of more common and people think it's cool. But back then, people didn't think it was cool. At least
Like
like
yeah,
around. But I didn't care. I was just,
same.
it was like I loved it.
Yeah, yeah. It's many times there were like sometimes we were training in the park and there were kids like making fun of us and you were like,
Yeah,
ah, that's okay. Don't worry. It's a point where you're like, okay, whatever.
yeah, whatever. If you love it, that's it. And that's another thing. Like it helped me with that too because I think a lot of kids here, like kids, kids struggle with that. Like what their friends are gonna think about you,
Yes.
and that plays such a huge role in like growing up, like being who you truly want to be, regardless of what anybody else thinks. It's kind of the same thing we were talking before. So, just the fact that I love capoeira has been such an amazing opportunity for me to grow in that aspect. And now teaching it to the kids, like just do what you love and don't care about what anybody else
Yeah.
thinks. So,
Yeah, yeah. Especially because older you get, it's like it start when you're a kid, but older you get, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna look stupid. It's like, no, man, you're not gonna look stupid. Yeah, especially like, do you teach classes?
yeah.
Yes, like so, like if you tell an adult comes to you and be like, I'm gonna look stupid. It's like, dude, I'm gonna teach you something that's I'm not gonna make you look stupid. You know, like the whole point is for you to not look stupid. You know what I mean? It's like, but you gotta practice.
And even if at the beginning we look like quote unquote stupid, I mean, if we never look stupid and
Yeah.
we're just always doing what we're good at because we're afraid of people thinking that we look stupid, then we're just gonna be like super stuck in life.
Yes.
Anytime you try anything new, you are risking the fact that you're gonna not be that great at it. And that's
Exactly.
fine. Like who cares? At least you're progressing. So
Yeah. 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 Last couple weeks, I went to a high school and to teach a class, like just like a 2 hours class, and all teenagers. And the teenagers are the most hard to try to get into capoeira because they like they're gonna judge me. My friends they're not gonna do it. So blah blah. And then I was like, like when we start little kids, we fall all the time, and we don't get judged. We just like keep practicing until it's a point when we learn how to walk, and then we learn how to run, and then we learn how to jump, and you go learning all the time. So this exact same thing. You just learn how to do a cartwheel, how to do an AU, and just you don't know how to do it, do baby steps.
yeah.
But
But it's true what you said. Teens is a challenging
yes, it's a challenging age.
yeah. But what I realized is like whoever, I mean, it's a challenging age for anything, not just capoeira. Like
That's
they're
true.
going through so many changes. And right now in our society with like YouTube and Instagram, like
Yes,
oh, this is a completely different society right now. I feel like
it is.
they're exposed to so many different things that I was, and probably you too.
Yeah,
But I think when capoeira calls you, that's it. Like it's
is for you. Is you
you.
there?
Yeah, sometimes we do like presentations or shows, and even if there's teens, like you can see some of them, it's like they like it, but they don't want to like show that they like it,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
they want to act cool. But then they come over, they're like, "What is that? How do you play that?" Blah, blah. I'm like, "Bro, you're capoeira. Let's go."
Yeah, yeah.
I'll see you at
Here,
the
here's a jinga, and then try to do, and they play around, and yeah, they leave with a bigger smile.
Yeah, yeah. Who's
Yeah, and then,
capoeira? It just flows. That's
yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, and now it's funny that you said you mentioned the part of like how capoeira has been helping you, because that's actually the next question. Like, you think capoeira is been helping you just for like the shyness, or do you think it's helping building that confidence or something else?
Wow. I can't even like I could do a whole hour talk about all the things that capoeira has helped me with. But mainly, I mean, definitely like being more confident and also like self-express, like being able to just be myself. Because I actually made a post. I made the post for the group's social media, and I
Oh,
just made
cool.
a post about like everybody doing a different like their jinga, but everybody has their own style. So even
Yes.
if we're doing the same movement, it's like it's like you can share your own version of it. So
Yes.
that was really cool for me because yeah, like growing up, you just want to be like your friends. Like everything your friends do, you don't have like that like uniqueness about yourself. So it helped me find that in myself of like how can I express myself true to myself and it's still okay. And it's like actually it makes it even better that
Yes.
I can like share who I truly am. It makes me be more like successful and happy and all of that. So that's one thing. But being that I started capoeira in Puerto Rico and then moved to Miami. When I moved, I was 15 years old. So that
Nice.
it was very challenging for me to move. I didn't speak English. I was going to a new school. So honestly, like capoeira was like all I had in a way because it was hard for me to like click with people at school because I didn't speak the language. That age, everybody
Different
has
culture.
groups. Like nobody wants the new girl or like whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank God I had capoeira because I went through like hell during high school. Like when I moved, it was very challenging. It was very challenging not knowing the language and like I said, like at that age, everybody already has their groups. I left all
Yeah.
in Puerto Rico, like friends that I grew up with. It was hard.
Yes.
So the fact that I had capoeira, that's all I looked forward. Like I was in class like this, just looking at the teacher. I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to go train. I can't wait to go train, and just like even train for the rest of the night, and then the next day again. So capoeira really like kept me honestly sane. I don't know how like yeah, it kept me sane and also like away from a lot of stuff that kids my age were doing at that time.
Oh
Um,
wow.
the like the friends that I had in school or even in Puerto Rico like went a completely different route
Oh,
into
crazy.
drugs and like the festival community, like the like acid and like all
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah.
That was my group of friends. If you see them now, that's where they're at. And like I had capoeira, taught I was like taught not to like drink and to train. I was focused on training. I didn't have time to like go and do acid trips. But like who knows where I would have been, honestly, if
Oh
that
yeah.
I would have gone just like other people that I know. So that's huge.
You wouldn't have the friends you have now. You wouldn't have the relationship you have now, or you wouldn't have the job you have right now.
Literally, it's
Yeah, it's crazy.
it
Just
makes.
like destiny put you on that path.
Mhm.
That's so cool.
Just like a random hole that they had on Fridays, which is crazy because that group doesn't even exist anymore. But it's like that just goes to show. It's like a little tangent, but that just goes to show that like we all have like an impact when we're
Yes.
following like our passion. Because whoever was hosting those holas in Puerto Rico 100 years ago, I don't even know how many years ago, when I was a kid, had like a huge impact in my life. Like look where I'm
Oh
at
yeah.
today. because they chose to do holas every Friday. Like we don't,
Right in front of across the street.
yeah, we don't know what, like whatever whoever's listening and you and me, like whatever we feel called to do, like there's no time for hesitation because you have no idea like who you're gonna be impacting and who's gonna be like ready to receive what you have to offer.
That's for sure. Yeah, because I remember when I went to my first capoeira class. Man, I think we were probably like 20, 25 in that class. And honestly, I think today's days, it's probably a full hand of the people there, including me, that do capoeira right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, and when now I'm connecting more capoeira here, we're doing this kind of stuff. Is like, you're completely right. You're completely right on that part.
Yeah. You never know like the change you can make and so, and that's the thing, like if you do capoeira and you think you can make a living off of it, let go of that because if you're following like your truth and your passion, you have like an incredible gift. And you just gotta do it your own way. You gotta
Yeah,
keep pushing. You gotta do it your way, and it's gonna come true. But if you think like, oh, it's impossible, and you don't like fully commit to it, it's not gonna work out. But that's just with anything. It doesn't have
yeah,
to be capoeira. It's anything.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you never know who's watching when you. I'll talk to this about this with a few interviews back, where like they thought they just recording themselves and posting on social media
Hmm.
just because just as a commitment for themselves. And then somebody told them is like, hey, like, thank you for posting those videos, is really motivating me. And you never know who's watching.
Literally, yeah. And who's going through stuff? I
Yeah,
mean, as long as you feel happy, just keep expressing, keep posting. Who cares? I post a lot of capoeira stuff because
yeah,
I
yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome. That's
it's
awesome.
fun for me. It's like a way of like creative express myself and connect with like capoeira all over the world. Like me and my boyfriend, we did a video. It was like dancing first, and then we went straight into capoeira. We do like
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then this like other couple, I don't know if they're a couple, but a guy and a girl did like an imitation video of what we did in Argentina. I was like, that's so cool.
So cool.
Just
It is really cool.
yeah, that's something I love about capoeira. Like we were just talking about it because we're right now we have a friend over. I've never met her before, but she lives in New York. She trains with Abada Capoeira, and she needed a place to stay in Florida, so she's staying with us.
That's so
I was
cool.
like, I love that about capoeira. You can travel the world
Yes.
and just be like, hey, I practice capoeira in Florida. I'm gonna be in town. Do you or any of your students have a place I could crash for the weekend? Yeah, I promise you're gonna find someone.
I'm 100% sure.
It's
Yes.
it's so cool. It's awesome.
Yes. Yes. I remember. I actually, that reminds me. Me and my wife, we were doing a road trip all the way to West, and we were in Oregon, and we had to pass through California to go to LA, and then we were like, but that's like bunch of hours drive. We need to rest like halfway. And then Mestre Di Lajo, Mestre in Oregon, he was like, oh, but I know this guy from Capoeira Brazil. I didn't know him. In San Francisco. I'll give you his contact information. Oh, yeah, sure. I text him through Facebook, and he was like, oh, yeah, same thing like you just said. Yeah, here's my student. Text her. She will take care of you guys.
That literally makes me want to cry. Like that's just so.
I know.
That's
It's really cool. Yeah, and we were like, hey, like we were passing through, so blah, blah. We were talking all night about capoeira.
yeah. That's
Is
better too, cause like you can talk about it, play music, like oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah, and you just and make a new friend. It's so cool. It's just really cool. That is, there's no one thing about capoeira that I can say like, no, I hate this about capoeira. It's
yeah.
just like, man, I don't know. It's so hard for me. I have to like think really hard for me to say that.
It's true.
So now coming back to the beginning,
Okay.
how do you get into that part for you to have a full-time job in capoeira?
So I'm the type of person that I so outside of capoeira, I studied to be a life coach, and I've coached a lot of people. Right now, I'm not doing it because I'm like here full time, but I back then before I started working here, I was like constantly coaching people into like anything is possible. Like no matter what you like think that is like, oh, but there's not like a career like that, or there's not a studio that has classes like that. No, it doesn't matter. Like whatever you can even like imagine, you can have it happen. So that's
Yeah,
like what I started applying it to myself. I'm like, okay, so I'm not like, I am a monitora, but I'm not like a super high cord where I can like start teaching. But I walked in here. They have an after school program. I've been working with kids for forever. I love
Oh,
kids.
cool.
So it's like a mixture of everything, and it's just I don't know if people that listen to you are into this kind of stuff, but I truly believe that like when you're in alignment with like your true self, like the universe, God, whatever you believe in, like just opens doors for you. And it's
Yes.
kind of like I want to say fell on my lap, but it really didn't because nothing happens by chance, and it wasn't like I'm just laying in my couch every day and all of a sudden like I had
Wishing that stuff happened. Yeah.
yeah. I was like constantly like working inside of myself of like all those beliefs that would stop me from even considering this as a possibility. Or like all
Yes.
the insecurities or all the things that would like, oh, but you're not like good enough at capoeira, or you're not like a super good teacher, or like whatever it is. Like all those little conversations that we have in our head about not being good enough. I worked
Yes.
my ass off to like really let go of all of that. So when I say like it fell on my lap, it almost feels like that, but I did a lot of like internal work
Yeah.
and external work to like
That's awesome.
land something like this. And nothing. And then I volunteered here. Like I just worked a little bit, volunteered for a little bit, and and then got a part-time position. And then, I mean, when you do what you love, you do amazing work. So I've been like
Yes.
showing up um, really like passionate here and doing a good job, I guess. And then they promoted me to a full time, and now I'm like, this is a huge, and this is possible for anybody because Mestre Vecino and Professora Famia, they created like a badass business here. It's not just like come here train capoeira. This is like a huge after school like personal growth for the kids to like really learn about confidence. We have a
Oh,
teen
cool.
leadership program for the teens. We have like a nonprofit for like libraries that we're gonna start teaching and things like that. So it's like a whole amazing business. I don't know. It's really cool. So they have the opportunity of like hiring employees, which is
Whoa, that's
something
awesome.
that we don't see in capoeira that much, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I think being in the space is also like raised my bar as to like what's possible inside of capoeira.
Yes, that's awesome.
And there's nothing wrong with like going to like a martial arts place and renting the space and teaching one capoeira class like every like 3 times a week. We can all start there. That's awesome. But this could be an example of like what's possible if you're like 100%
Absolutely.
and you can create like a legit business where you can um how do you say that, like hire people that are passionate about capoeira and give them the opportunity to do this as a job like I
Oh
have.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Just like create a career, if we can call it that way. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like any person that teach capoeira out there is their dream. I think is of like, I want to have my own space. I want to have a lot of classes. I want to have this play full of people doing capoeira or doing programs or doing dances or any other activity besides capoeira, but capoeira in this place. And I think that's a great example.
Yeah, it is. And it
Yeah.
takes like what I've learned from them. Like I'm not gonna like come here and pretend that it's like, oh, what I did. No, I'm working for them, but
Yeah.
what I've learned from them is like really how they were able to create something like this is that they're passionate about it, which we all are, but also like they do things right. Like I
Yes.
think remember how I was like, okay, we're yeah, let's meet whatever day, and then I don't answer. That won't work, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
learning. And I understand like I understand that where that comes from. Like I didn't grow up seeing that that was like a thing, like an honorable thing to do, like be your word. And if you're gonna say you're gonna be at one place at one time, you're there. Like I didn't grow up seeing that. I'm learning now. Like
Yeah.
in order to like really be, and when I say successful, it's not like making money or whatever, but like be
To
happy
achieve.
and
To
to
achieve.
achieve
Yeah.
like your goals and all that. You have to like really be your word, and that means like
Yeah.
say you're gonna do something at this time, you're gonna do that thing at one time. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be teaching every other Thursday, and then that Thursday you text your students like, hey, I'm not gonna make it today, but like that's gonna go down. And I've seen that a lot. That's why I give them
Same. Same. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that a lot on instructors where it's like, man, those students are like excited, and then they sometimes those instructors, hopefully, people out there understand this and don't take this to the wrong way, but where like that's why sometimes schools they don't grow, and then it's like, why my class is not growing? It's like, well, like you gotta be a little bit committed to
And
more serious to this
committed to the academy and also committed to like working on yourself and like leaving
yourself. Yes,
people in the door, because if you think you're gonna, I mean, it's not easy if not everybody could do it, so you gotta like,
exactly.
leave your ego in the door and be like, okay, so how can I improve myself so that I can like achieve all these things.
Exactly, exactly. And it's not so. I think the word is shortage. Shortage. Like
Hmm.
there's no shortcut to get there, and you have to go through it,
Yeah,
and you just gotta keep trying it.
yeah.
And how can instructor get into like after school programs?
um so that's the thing, like I started working here when they already had like something really like
Oh,
established
cool.
built. um but I know they started teaching like a YMCA first, and like got
Nice. Okay.
on the door there. But from what I've heard from them and like other people that have been working or at least training with them since back then, it started small. It just started with one kid. They
Wow, that's
picked
crazy.
up one kid at school and did the homework, then trained, and that kid is still here. Roman, he's
That's
still
so
he's
cool.
one of the teenagers. We did a teen leadership program, and he's one of the teens.
That's
So
so cool.
yeah, it's really
So
awesome.
they pretty much saw them growing up. That's so cool, man.
There's
I admire those stuff.
Yeah. There's a bunch of like teens here, and like we have for Malibu Hasha, if you guys want to check him out. He's 20, 21, no 20, but he started when he was like, I don't even know how old, like 9 years ago or something like that. He was like,
Wow.
and now he's like an adult. He's teaching the classes, like he's gonna, that's it. He's a formal. He's gonna be the instructor. But since they're little,
Wow, that's crazy. That's so cool.
yeah, another girl too. There's a bunch of them here. It's really awesome. It's really
Yeah, I just started a small program on a community center pretty close to here, where I have a 6 years old little girl, and
Mhm.
she's so cute. And she's so smart. And she just speak English.
Mhm.
And the first class, I taught her the shue shua,
Mhm.
and then the second class I taught her CCC now no now.
Mhm.
And the last class I taught her like Apamayibimba 1 2 3. And when I asked her, "Do you remember first one?" Yeah. What is it? Is it Obifa Shua Shua? It's like, man, that's so cool. And the second one. Do you remember the second one? Yeah. And he's like, man, it's impressive how like you remember those kind of stuff. And I was like, you're super smart. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah, I love teaching kids. It's like they're super cute and it's very challenging too.
It is really really challenging.
It's
Yeah.
very challenging, especially an after school program because they come straight from school. They've been told what to do, sit still, pay attention, do this, that, like the whole day. So now they're out of school and it's like stand still, jinga, kick. They're like, it's like it takes all
Yeah.
energy from the teachers to be able to like catch their attention.
Yes, it does.
Ready to like run around and go crazy and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cause this little girl, she's like every time someone pass by the door, she's like,
Hmm.
hey, like try to like move her and now do the cartwheel on the way. And it's hard. It's hard to like,
It's hard,
uh,
yeah.
but it's awesome. I always get like energized after that class. Is
That's
I don't know. Is I get feed up with that energy. Is really really cool. And then to like kind of like wrap it up because I'm pretty sure you busy too. You got stuff to do. Almost 10 p.m. here. I think we're in the same
yeah.
time.
Same, yeah, same.
Okay. So as a female capoeirista, how do you think from you being a little bit around the capoeira community, how do you think we can make the capoeira community female stronger?
That's such a tricky question for me because I tend to like not. I'm all about woman empowerment
Yeah.
and that. I think I think we should practice more human empowerment, right? Like just like you would treat another man capoeirista, like what would make us as a better, like what would make us a better community for anybody in capoeira? That anybody feels safe, feels heard, feels like motivated, feels that they can accomplish like anything they put their mind to. Like how can is this it's so okay, so that question, how can we do that? Then I mean, ego at the door,
Yes.
ego at the door. It's not, there's no purpose. And I understand like most of the time we're blind that we have even an ego because we've been wearing that for so long. It's all we know. Um, but just like have compassion towards each other, um, motivate each other to train hard, and respect. I think respect is the biggest one. Um, in terms of feminine, I think just like a guy, just like anybody, just train hard.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, and I love and I respect that you're doing this, like the whole like woman empowerment. Like it's really really awesome, especially they went to Brazil in December, and they told me like in Bahia it's still very much like girls don't play,
Oh
like
wow.
it's very like, and if they play with a girl, even if the girl is good, they play very like oh we gotta be careful with the girl or whatever, like whatever. Girls are on one side just, and all the
Just
guys
watching.
in and playing and playing, 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 and then they're like, okay, woman, let's get the woman play, and they just put the woman. And even at one point, they told me that they started singing like this song. I don't even know what song it was, but it's like a song that talks about like women being like to look pretty or blah blah. And the mestre, our mestre, was like,
Yeah.
no, we're not singing that song in this whole lot. Like you guys are like way behind. We're not doing that.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That's still, it's still a thing. So I appreciate the fact that like you're doing this and that we're having a conversation.
Thank
Um,
you, thank you. I appreciate the effort of like, cause I just like last year, right, right, right after I started the podcast. So I started the podcast a year ago, and then I went to Brazil August last year. I was doing just like all capoeiristas, and then I saw this Maestra Francesinha. She was having this conversation about how women had history in capoeira, and it has a, 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 an impact inside capoeira, but there's nowhere. No one talks about that, and no one says anything about that. You hear about the stories of like, oh yeah, all the wives of Mestre Bimba, or yeah, all the, but that's it. It's like, what about the woman that play capoeira in the hut? And Mestra Francesinha was talking about that, where like, she says like, like sometimes the woman with those big ass dresses, they like pull it up, tie it up with to the knees, and they just jump to the hut, and that was a thing before, but no one says those kind of stuff.
yeah, we don't
And
talk about it.
yeah, and when I heard that, it's like poof, like blow my mind, and I was like, Mesra, I want to have you on the podcast. I want you to talk about this, and because I want not just in the U.S. or Canada. In Europe is I don't know too much about the capoeira community in Europe, so I don't want to say anything that I don't even know. But in Europe, I hope that that's a thing too. And in South America is getting there. Is getting there, and I think that's awesome because again, capoeira was made to bring people together.
Yeah, and as like worldwide, or at least in the United States and worldwide too, like this is an ongoing like shift that is happening too. It's not just in our capoeira world, but it's like I think women, we have to be careful as women too to fall into like
The
separating,
ego part.
yeah,
Yeah,
separating
yeah, yeah.
like oh like just, I get it. We've been oppressed. I get it. We've been treated like we're less than. I understand. I feel the pain. Like sometimes I even feel it for like past generations. I'm like, damn, that sucks. Like that sucks. That has to suck. Like not being able to express yourself, not being able to like feel heard, and
Yes.
and like seeing, yeah, from generations, just seeing like men rule, and nothing against men at all, but it is true that like there's like a masculine and a feminine energy, so like men tend to handle situations in a different way that a woman would. And if
Yeah.
as a world we're not listening to women, we're just handling situations in a very masculine way, which I feel like it's like more like wars and like things have we've been resolving issues in the world. So now women, I feel like we're like coming to like
The
a
mixture. Yeah, yeah.
a blend of like hearing each other out and learning from each other, and allowing also like now that the women the feminine energy is like rising, we're also giving permission for the men to play with that energy, to like show
Yes.
the fact that you are a man and you're doing this podcast and all that. That's like a huge step towards like just unifying all of us. It's not a woman that is like, let's talk about woman empowerment. No, it's a
Let's
man.
talk about capoeira.
Yeah, let's talk about capoeira. You
Yeah.
just happen to be a woman, and I want to give you the space and the mic for you to speak.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the point of like, again, we when we go to the hall that we play capoeira, we don't play men capoeira or woman capoeira. We just play capoeira, and
Yeah,
it's
train. If you're a woman listening, just train hard. Train
yeah,
with guys. Train with girls. Go in the hoda. Play. Have fun. Play, bro. Just play. Just
yeah,
go.
yeah. I agree. And if there's a male where you see the woman like kind of like shy, just like elbow her and be like, hey, like let's go play. How many times do you play? You play. Or if there's a girl being a guy, because there's guys too, where like we step back and like, I don't feel like playing. Hey, shut up! Come on, jump to the hole.
Yeah, at the end, we're all one. And that's what I was going to say. Like, yes, there might be more women that feel like, oh, I don't want to go in. But I've seen guys too
I
that
feel
are,
like that sometimes.
yeah, more shy or whatever. So at the end of the day, we're just all one and we're here to like lift each other up and train.
Yes, yes, I really like that. I like that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and yeah, I like that part where you say like we don't want the woman to get into the egocentric part where like, oh well, now we woman, you man, you there, us
yeah,
here. It's like let's mix everything. Let's we're all one. We all
exactly.
came from the same place.
And there's like, it's such a waste of time to think that we're
Yes,
separate because we're not.
there's no
So,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, and then now to like wrap it up, the last question for the capoeira community in general, what would you be your advice just for the capoeira community in general, for all the generations or everybody in the capoeira community?
For the capoeira community, I think is remember and honor where our martial art came from, and it's like so much bigger than ourselves. Like it's so much bigger than any little drama you have in your academy or any little. It's like there's a big purpose, and we can like
Yes,
continue to carry that on in our communities outside of our academies. And it's the same thing. It's a waste of energy to like get lost on little things. There's a big purpose, and we're part of that. So it's just like carrying the name of capoeira with like pride, and like honoring the fact that like slaves use this to connect, to deal with like hardship, and we can bring that to like communities that still feel oppressed and still feel like the same feelings, even if they're not slaves right now. But there's people out there that feel like they're going through a lot, and we
oh
have
yeah,
the opportunity to share that. So that's like the big picture, and focus on yourself and train, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's great. And then I like that where like like you just gotta help each other. I don't think there's right or wrong answer, but just helping each other just makes everything easier.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say one more thing. It's
Yes.
it's like being careful with being too hard on ourselves, like because capoeira it's a challenging. It's not I don't want to talk about other sports, but I'm just saying capoeira has a lot of challenging movements, challenging like instruments and things like that. So like not being too hard on ourselves and just like having fun with it while you're learning, and not comparing yourself to anybody else. Just do your own thing.
Absolutely, I like that part because especially now today's day with social media, we oh man, I can do this movement, or oh man, this person is playing like this. Just like man, do don't be shy to like show whatever you do. Everybody is not like a specific playbook where you say like this is a capoeirista. It's just like no man.
Yeah,
We all are capoeiristas.
yeah. Speaking about the women's thing, I made a post I think yesterday. It's like, what if as women we don't say, instead of saying like, oh she's beautiful, how do I measure up to her, or how do I compare to her? It's like it's more like, oh she's beautiful and I am too, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like leaving it as that. There's no need to compare. And the same with capoeira. It's like his or her game is like amazing, and my game is amazing in my own way. And I'm not stopping now. Like it's gonna get even better and better and better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Am I spend complaining about how it doesn't compare to that when I'm wasting time? Just be
Oh,
training.
yeah, exactly. I like that part. Yeah, go go like instead of wasting the energy of complaining, just go train.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. And or read about capoeira or anything. Just use it to learn something. Oh, that's great. That's great. And now one last thing. What are your social medias one more time so people can find you?
Okay, so on Instagram is Monitora underscore Vermelinha, and on Facebook is Bianca Puig, Puig.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you so much. One more time, thank you so much for sharing all your capoeira experience, your capoeira knowledge, especially the business part. And thank you so much for being part of the podcast.
Thank you for having me and for doing this work. This is awesome. I love it.
Of course, for the capoeira community.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, and talk to you soon.
Yes.
Keep ready. Bye.
Keep training.
Yes. Bye. Hey, I hope you like this video and you like this interview as I did. Please turn those notifications on. Please subscribe and comment down below your thoughts and any question you have for any capoeirist in the world. If you have one question, what it will be? Also, join in this capoeira podcast because you or everyone in the capoeira community have an experience to share. Even share the experience for people that never have done capoeira and they can understand and they can join us too. Please share with your friends, share with everyone in the capoeira community. Let them know the capoeira podcast experience is open for everyone. Doesn't matter group, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter the planet, doesn't matter the earth. If you're from Mars, but you do capoeira, I'm going to have you here. Okay, let's share this experience so awesome that capoeira give us. Okay, please comment down below. Let us know what you think. Peace.